The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
Raider Nation, we have some massive news. Over the past week, Arizona Cardinals GM Monti Ossenfort said that the team is going to be fielding offers to trade down from the number 4 overall pick. Personally, I find this shocking because it seems that Marvin Harrison Jr., perennial superstar wide receiver, is going to be there at that pick, but it seems that they're not sold on him as their wide receiver one in the future for some reason. But this is huge for the Raiders and very significant for two main reasons. Number one being that I think the Raiders and Vikings are the only two teams willing to trade up. And obviously the Broncos need a quarterback as well. But I've consistently mentioned this in the past. Sean Payton, I think he's going to fall in love with Bo Nix. And I believe that because Bo Nix, whatever he did at Oregon, what he does well is pre-snap reads and playing within the play. The opposite of Russell Wilson. He was more of a off-script, let Russ cook type of guy. Whereas Bo Nix is the complete opposite. And I think that's what Sean Payton wants. That's what he did with Drew Brees in New Orleans. And I think that's what he wants to do in Denver as well. So I think he's going to want Bo Nix. And you don't have to really trade up for Bo Nix. He's going to be available wherever the Broncos pick. So I don't think they're interested in trading up. I do think the Vikings will be interested in as well. But the only problem with that is Arizona, they're in the same conference as the Vikings. And I think it'd be malpractice for the Arizona Cardinals to go and supply a quarterback of the future to a conference rival, which that just seems crazy to me because you're going to be playing this guy pretty much every season, and if not in the playoffs. So I don't think that the Arizona Cardinals would want to trade to a team within the same conference and give them a quarterback of the future. So that leaves the door open for the Las Vegas Raiders to trade up with the Arizona Cardinals because I think we're the team that they would want to do business with. And I think that obviously we want the quarterback the most out of all these teams. So that also, number two, I think that this opens the door to Jayden Daniels as a Las Vegas Raider. We've made videos in the past saying that we want Jayden Daniels as a Raider, but I'll admit it was more of a dream more than a reality. But I think if the Arizona Cardinals are serious about trading up, and all signs point to that being the case, I think that Jayden Daniels to the Raiders becomes a reality. And look, I know a lot of the mock drafts, the so-called mock draft experts out there, have been saying that Jayden Daniels isn't going to get past the top 3, but I couldn't disagree more. And we're going to go through the scenarios right now. Obviously, to the number 1 pick, Chicago Bears, I think that's pretty obvious it's going to be Caleb Williams. They traded away Justin Fields, and I think Caleb Williams is their guy number 1. So the draft starts at 2, in my opinion. And if you look at the Washington Commanders, I have said this in the past. I'll admit that Jayden Daniels is going to go number 2, but I think I'm wrong there, and I'm going to change my tune on that. And the reason being is because I've examined the Washington Commanders front office, and their newly hired GM this past hiring cycle is Adam Peters of the San Francisco 49ers. And if you look at his history throughout the NFL, he started with the New England Patriots. Then he moved on to the Denver Broncos. And then obviously he's with the Niners for the past few years. And the quarterbacks that he's worked with over that time, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Jimmy G. And none of those guys are mobile quarterbacks. So Adam Peters, his mold for a quarterback is a pocket passer, a guy who can kill defenses from the pocket and, deliver those strikes, not a runaround quarterback like Lamar Jackson or like Jayden Daniels. So I think they would be more inclined to pick a guy like Drake May, who's my comp for him is Ben Roethlisberger. He's big, tall quarterback out of UNC. He can make all the throws, and he's more of a pocket passer. He can run a little bit, but a lot of people are saying he's the next Justin Herbert. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but he seems like a guy that Adam Peters would like in Washington. So I think Drake May is going to go number 2. And at number 3, this is interesting because New England Patriots, obviously they need a quarterback after trading Mac Jones. But if you really dive into the Patriots kind of culture and regime, I think that JJ McCarthy makes the most sense. His pro day was a few days ago. He made all those different throws, the Zach Wilson rolling to his left, throw across your body, throw 60 yards downfield. He's got the arm talent. We've seen that. And he also has the size. I know he doesn't look like the biggest quarterback. I was kind of fooled by this before. Looks like a slender, tiny quarterback, but he's 6'3". He's not small. So he's got the size, he's got the arm strength, and he's got the mobility. He can, move around a little bit within the pocket and make some plays. We saw that in the national championship. We saw that throughout the college football season under Jim Harbaugh. So he's got all you want in a quarterback, and I think the New England fan base would rally around a guy like JJ McCarthy. Obviously, we've seen what Tom Brady, another Michigan quarterback, has done uh, for the New England Patriots, 6 Super Bowls. So Brady spoke highly of JJ McCarthy in the past, and obviously he's still close with Robert Kraft. So I think JJ McCarthy makes the most sense to New England. I know that's not what the sort of mock draft experts have said so far, but I seriously think they're wrong when it comes to their evaluation of JJ McCarthy. I think he's going to rise up draft boards. I don't know if he's going to be another Zach Wilson. I don't have a crystal ball to say he's a bust or he's going to be a star, but I think he's going to rise up, and I think a team is going to pull the trigger on him. We saw Zach Wilson, who I think was a lesser prospect than JJ, go number 2 to the Jets. So you had a quarterback of a very similar mold go in the top 3. And I think JJ McCarthy is going to skyrocket up these boards because I've been watching the draft for since I was 12 years old. And what I remember in every single draft class is that the quarterback sort of hierarchy always changes. It's never set in stone. And in the last kind of 1 month before the draft, it always shifts. And right now, JJ McCarthy looks like he's number 4. I think that's going to completely change. And I think he's going to rise up because of what he's done in the pre-draft process. I think the Patriots are going to make a move on JJ. And obviously that leaves our guy, Jayden Daniels, Antonio Pierce connect to slide to number 4. And I think on draft day, if this scenario happens, I think we have to pull the trigger. I think Antonio Pierce loves Jayden Daniels. I think the fan base would love Jayden Daniels. We've always wanted a mobile quarterback, and this guy gives you that. He's the next Lamar Jackson, in my opinion. I think he's the second, if not the best quarterback in this class. He's a star. He's got the arm talent. He's got the size. He's got the mobility to an exceptional level. So I think Jayden Daniels to the Raiders could become a reality with the Arizona Cardinals somehow interested in trading back. So Raider Nation, I hope this video gives you hope. It certainly gives me hope that we're going to make a move for a quarterback because let's face it, Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell aren't going to cut it. We need a young quarterback. We have to find our quarterback of the future in this draft. And I think this move allows that to happen. So yeah, Raider Nation, it's been really quiet as of late. Free agency is really slowed down. Hopefully, Telesco and AP make some moves. But until then, we're going to have you covered. All things draft free agency at the Silver and Black Attack. We really appreciate the support. Continue subscribing, commenting down below. We read every single comment. We really genuinely appreciate all the engagement and we welcome it. If you have constructive feedback, we welcome that as well. So, Raider Nation, we're a small channel. We're trying to grow. We appreciate everything. But yeah, we're going to have you covered, Raider Nation. And thank you, and signing off.